What's up, everyone? Welcome to East West Healing. Today I want to talk about low testosterone in men and the differences between type 1 and type 2 hypogonadism. So this is for all the men out there. But before we jump in, as always, please like this video, show us a little support. And please hit that subscription button and notification button so every single Wednesday when we put out a video, you get notified. Let's jump in. No, of course, if you're male, this is going to be important. But if you're married to a male, this is going to be important, right? Because there is so much confusion when it comes to low testosterone levels. Now, of course, there's many ranges. Doctors say 3 to 1,000 is normal, 3 to 900, or 3 to 800, right? The question is, where are we at age-wise? Because they're going to be different. Of course, if you're 19, they're going to be much higher. They could be 7, 8, 900, right? And if you're, 56, they're going to be much lower. So it depends on your age, just like blood pressure. And we have to understand the person and their story, and we have to look at their biochemistry, right? The problem is there's a disservice that's being done. We have one end of the spectrum. We have doctors just testing total testosterone, right? It's like testing TSH, and that is it, to see what's going on with the thyroid, which is completely useless, right? Because I've said before, what if you have high TSH and normal values, or low TSH and normal values, right? You don't have hypothyroidism. Same thing with total testosterone. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have these anti-aging clinics, which are giving out testosterone, other steroids, aromatase inhibitors, and they're going all full blast. We need to find that balance point. We need to find that balance point with everything, my friends. And here is the missing link, I feel. Even with the clinics, no one is testing this, and it doesn't make any sense to me. The most important two things, of course, it's many things, but you should test when it comes to looking at your testosterone levels. Total testosterone, free testosterone, luteinizing hormone, sex hormone binding globulin, prolactin, a full thyroid panel, a cholesterol panel, lipid panel. I think that's going to tell you a lot, because of course it could tell you if prolactin's affecting your total testosterone, if sex hormone binding is affecting your total testosterone, and where that is coming from. First, you just have low testosterone, you need TRT. That's always the answer. Not everyone needs it, but the LH piece is going to give you the missing link of, are you type 1 or type 2 hypogonadism? Type 1 is the feedback loop is broken. You need to seek medical advice because your testes are no longer going to produce testosterone, no matter what you do and take. Sure, you can take over-the-counter supplements that boost testosterone. They're going to boost free testosterone. They're not going to boost total testosterone. And if anything, they're going to go up 10 points in the second you stop taking them. Everything's going to drop. But they're not fixing the LH, the signal, right? So here's the difference. This is why looking at LH is so important versus just testosterone or total testosterone. Let's say you get your testosterone tested, it's low, and you test LH and it's super high, right? This is type 1 hypogonadism. There's a signal coming up for the pituitary. Produce testosterone, produce testosterone, produce testosterone. But the testes are not getting the signal because the feedback loop is broken. Why? I don't know. There's many reasons, but the feedback loop is broken, right? So no matter how many signals come out, the testes are never going to respond. This is someone that does need to change how they're living. This is someone that does need to change their nutrition, right? And create a different environment to influence their system, but they need to seek medical advice, and that change is going to support the hormonal support they're going to get from their doctor, right? This is a medical advice. I'm not telling you need TRT, but that is usually the scenario. And I'm not against it. I'm not against it. If someone needs it, they need it, right? But don't just take it and say, I'm going to heal. You still have to change your environment, because if there's still stress in the system and you're taking testosterone, anytime you put something exogenous in your body, of course, you're going to get an increased aromatization to estrogen. And maybe the levels you're taking that should boost you up to, let's say, 500 or 600, boost you to like 300 or 400 or 400 or 500 because of all the stress in the system. So you got to change how you're living, to change how you're eating, to support the medication or hormonal support you're going to get from your doctor, right? So high LH, low testosterone, type 1, seek medical advice. Number 2 is type 2 hypogonadism. This is when LH is normal or low and testosterone is low. This means there's no signal coming from the pituitary, LH, to tell the testes to produce testosterone. Hence, they're not producing testosterone. This makes a lot of sense. The problem is if you just tested testosterone, you wouldn't see that, and they would say take TRT. And what if you didn't need it? Once you go on TRT, now you break that feedback loop, and now you've created type 1 hypogonadism, right? This is a scenario where a lot of people, depending on their age, right, there is a gray area, I'll admit, based on my clinical experience, but that they can change how they're living, change how they're eating to really de-stress the system, the HPA axis, hypothalamus pituitary gonad axis, hypothalamus pituitary adrenal, hypothalamus pituitary thyroid, to now free up the signal so the testes get the response to increase your testosterone levels. It's that simple, right? So type 2 hypogonadism typically doesn't need medical support, right? Because there's no signal, something blocking it. We change that, now there's a signal, the testes produce testosterone. But there is a gray area, and what I've seen clinically is the older someone is, and the more of a story they've had, more stress and trauma, sometimes it doesn't bounce back like it should, all right? Why? I don't know. Maybe they've been smoking for 30 years. Maybe they did try steroids when they were younger, and then they went off and never did a proper protocol to bounce back, right? Maybe they have such chronic stress in their life. Who knows? But what I've seen is, sometimes when people are 50 or 60 and they even have normal LH and low LH and low testosterone, and it's type 2 hypogonadism, no matter how much they change and how much they support themselves, their testosterone just doesn't bounce up enough. It'll bounce up a good amount, but not enough to make them feel the difference. And that's when you should probably consult with your MD to see, or your naturopath or your endocrinologist to see what's going on. Of course, none of this is medical advice. None of this is telling you to go on TRT, to go off TRT, or anything. But here's the deal. You need to be testing both to make that decision, because I've seen so many people in their 20s and 30s, even 40s, get put on testosterone when all the doctor has done is test testosterone, total testosterone, in their 20s, right? In their 20s, and telling them they need TRT. Now, maybe they do, but we didn't test LH. We don't know if they're type 1. Yes, they need it. Or they're type 2. Maybe they just need to change how they're eating and living to influence the system to produce more. So this is for educational purposes, so you can be your own advocate and know what's going on, so you can consult with your anti-aging clinic doctor, your endocrinologist, naturopath, functional medicine doctor, whoever it is, so you know the difference and the steps you need to take. But the bottom line is this. It doesn't matter if you're type 1 or type 2. You still need to change to create change to support what you're doing. Hopefully this makes sense. If you've got questions, always put them in the comment section. I appreciate you all. Thank you for the support. I'm out.